Hello, in this video I'm going to be going through my Advent of Code 2023 Day 8 solution. So in this problem we're given this sort of input which tells us the direction we need to go, left or right, and we need to loop this if we run out of characters. So in this instance we go right, left, right, left, right, left on each choice that we have. But down here we go left, left, right, left, left, right, for example. Now, we start at AAA, and then left is BBB, and right is going to be CCC. And we need to keep going through these. So if we go right first, we go to CCC, and then we're going to go left. CCC brings us to ZZZ. And we need to find out how many steps it takes for us to get from AAA to ZZZ. So, if I copy this input, I'm going to paste it into Visual Studio Code, day8.txt. And here I'm just reading out of the file, and then I'm getting the lines by splitting on each line. Now what I can say is I'm going to have a counter for how many steps it takes. Then I'm going to say the moves or movements. Movements is going to be lines 0 because it's the first line, dot split at the each character. Then I'm going to have a next map, which is just going to tell me if I'm at a certain node, then I'm going to go, if I go left, then it's going to be this node. If I go right, it's going to be this node. So I can just say let next map equals an object. And then for let line index equals 2, line index is less than lines.length, and then line index plus plus. And line index is 2 because on our input the first values are at line 2. So now we can say let current node, the node that we are currently at, and then the next nodes equals lines line index dot split equals space equals space, because that's the format this is in. So I'm splitting there, I'm getting the current node and the next nodes. And then what I'm going to do is say let next left and next right equal next nodes dot replace the bracket for nothing and the other bracket for nothing as well. And then what I can do is split by the comma space. So now I can say next map current equals left is going to be to the next left, and if we get a R, it's going to be to the next right. Okay, so now if I log out these values, JSON.stringify, so we get all the values next map, then we're going to see, here we can see we get the data that we had in the input in a JSON file, or in a JSON object, sorry. So now we can say let current node equals AAA, because that's the starting node. And then we say while current node is not equal to Z, then we want to say current node is going to be equal to next map current node, and then we're going to index at movements total, and then we're going to do the mod function movements.length. Finally we can say total plus plus, and finally return total. So if we try this, we get 2. Now if we try it with our test input, the actual puzzle input, then we're going to get hopefully the correct answer. So if we run this, we get 17287. If we go back, we see the answer is 17287. So that's correct. Now, in the second instance, we have values that end with A, and we need to go for all of the values that end in A to get to Z, basically. So here you can see we have 11A goes to 11Z eventually. And a similar thing for 22A goes to 22Z. We need to find when all of the values, nodes, current nodes are simultaneously at Z when we start at A. So we can modify our code a bit, but we're going to have to make some changes as well. So let's just copy this first. We're going to keep a total still, although actually we don't need it, I don't think. So movement is going to be the same. Next map is also the same, and we're putting in these values the same, so that's fine. But now we're going to say let current nodes instead of just a single current node, and let start nodes. Then what we're going to say is we can get rid of this, and we're just going to say for let node of object.keys next map. Then we can say if node 2 is equal to A, so if it ends with an A, current nodes dot push node like this, and start nodes dot push node. So now we've got the start node in this start nodes array, and we've got the value in a current nodes array as well. So now all we have to do is go through the current nodes index. So we can say for let current node I equals 0, current node I is less than current nodes dot length current node I plus plus. And now we can say let I equals 0. We're going to say while true. We're going to say if current node I, current node I, and like that. It's a bit of a weird syntax. Dot length minus 1. And then we need to get the second index of that. So I think, sorry, my bad. We need it like that, and then we can get the second item to check if it's Z. If it is Z, we're going to break. And then we can just say current nodes, current node I dot push, next map, current nodes, current node I, and then current nodes, and then current node I dot length minus 1, and then we're going to index at movements I mod movements dot length. I realize that is quite long and I should probably break it up, but that is all we need to do for that. Finally, we can return current nodes dot map element L dot length minus 1, because we start with an initial node which isn't a step actually. But now we've done that, we're going to get an output which is this. Now all we need to do with this is find the lowest common multiple, and I didn't want to do this in code because it would take too long. So I use something called Google Sheets. And here we can just put in our values, and then we've got the lowest common multiple output with equals LCM D1 down to D6. And that gives us the answer that we're looking for. So that's how I solved Advent of Code 2023 Day 8.